Quotes from William Gurnall. From the Kindle, Deep Christian Quotes and Bible Verses. First quote. Christ is the door that opens into God's presence and lets the soul into his very bosom. Faith is the key that unlocks the door. But the Spirit is he that makes this key. Second quote. We fear men so much, because we fear God so little. Third quote. How can God stoop lower than to come and dwell with a poor humble soul? Which is more than if he had said, such a one should dwell with him. For a beggar to live at court is not so much, as the king to dwell with him in his cottage. Fourth quote. The possessions God allows us to have are intended for our use, not our enjoyment. Trying to squeeze something out of them that was never in them in the first place, is a futile endeavor. A cow's udders, gently pressed, will yield sweet milk, nourishing and refreshing. Applying more and more pressure will not produce greater quantities of milk. We lose the good of material things, by expecting too much from them. Those who try hardest to please themselves with earthly goods, find the least satisfaction in them. Fifth quote. Oh, if once our hearts were but filled with zeal for God, and compassion to our people's souls, we would up and be doing, though we could but lay a brick a day, and God would be with us. Sixth quote. And when God comes to reckon with his workmen, the plowman and the sower shall have his penny, as well as the harvestman and the reaper. Seventh quote. No, the Christian must stand fixed to his principles, and not change his habit, but freely show what countryman he is by his holy constancy in the truth. Eighth quote. Take heart therefore, O ye saints, and be strong. Your cause is good, God himself espouseth your quarrel, who hath appointed you his own son, general of the field, called the captain of our salvation. Hebrews 2:10. Ninth quote. Oh, take heed of this squint eye to our profit, pleasure, honor, or anything beneath Christ and heaven, for they will take away your heart, that is, our love, and if our love be taken away, there will be little courage left for Christ. Tenth quote. Blind zeal is soon put to a shameful retreat, while holy resolution, built on fast principles, lifts up its head like a rock in the midst of the waves. 11th quote. The longer a soul hath neglected duty, the more ado there is to get it taken up. 12th quote. We are bid to take not to make our cross. 13th quote. When people do not mind what God speaks to them in his word, God doth as little mind what they say to him in prayer. 14th quote. The storm may be tempestuous, but it is only temporary. 15th quote. He that is impatient, and cannot wait on God for a mercy, will not easily submit to him in a denial. 16th quote. A minister, without boldness, is like a smooth file, a knife without an edge, a sentinel that is afraid to let off his gun. If men will be bold in sin, ministers must be bold to reprove. 17th quote. As the eye of the body once put out, can never be restored by the creature's art, so neither can the spiritual eye lost by Adam's sin be restored by the teaching of men or angels. It is one of the diseases which Christ came to cure. 18th quote. God, to prevent all escape, hath sown the seeds of death in our very constitution and nature, so that we can as soon run from ourselves, as run from death. We need no feller to come with a hand of violence and hew us down. There is in the tree a worm, which grows out of its own substance, that will destroy it. So in us, those infirmities of nature that will bring us down to the dust. Thanks.